Hello, everybody. How's everyone doing today? Chris Wood here. I just jumped on for a few minutes to do this live to say hello and hope everybody is having a good day. And the reason also I am on here is because I am a 5-year Ontario provincial police injured, torture, skull split, brain injury, body mutilation, medical blacklist, sex assault, lung and kidney damages, full skull deforming, full identity theft and changes, which I can show, which I have proven, medical blacklisting, organized criminal, sex slave trafficking, human trafficking, identity thefts and frauds, tortures, animal tortures, stalking, elderly murders. I spoke O.p.p, human trafficking, and other crimes back in 2019. I was shot, and then actually at a previous address, I was sitting outside August 2019. Ex-O.p.p chief went by. He was driving a white Jeep Wrangler. He waved at me. I waved back. When I waved back, a black truck pulled up beside him. They pointed something. They shot it. It went into my right ear. I started having problems. I go to hospital. I finally get a CAT scan done, and one of the people that are involved was there at the hospital at the time, saying that she was there for me for anxiety and a bunch of other bullshit lies. I had nothing to do with this person in any way, shape, or form. Her name is Stacy. She's a mental health worker. She was Daily Tea Company, Napanee. Now she's in Kingston. She left to further distance herself, but she was there. I get my CAT scan done in November of 2019, and as soon as I got it done, I wanted copies. I was refused copies. I was told I needed medication, and I was I was pretty much medically blacklisted after that. I had no problems prior to that. I had not been to a hospital or a doctor in approximately 7 to 10 years. I hadn't needed to. And then I went to other hospitals after that because I wasn't satisfied with what was going on. I was getting a lot of movement going through my head, and I was getting a lot of burning and swelling and my skull deforming, and not knowing what was going on at the time. I decided, because of me being refused, I went to another hospital in Kingston, and they conveniently got a phone call stating that I was suicidal. I am not suicidal in any way, shape, or form. Never have been. I am life. I've been trying to get help. I've been trying to save my life. I am the end of my bloodline. I've been trying to save my bloodline. But because of the phone call and who it came from and my long hair and tattoos, it was automatically believed. So I was refused treatment. I was not taken serious about what was taking place with me, and by whom, how, and why. Shit. And then I would go to other hospitals, and all I would see is, I see in your file, I see in your file, I see in your file. What do you expect me to do? Medical blacklisting. I've been sex assaulted. I went to the hospital to actually try to get help after it happened, and I had doctors laugh in my face over it. And then I went to another doctor to try to get help for the same thing, and he in return phoned the police. The same ones showed up that were involved, and they were going to try to have me committed for it. I was still having a lot of problems after being shot or whatever in the ear. There was stalking that was taking place. There was a guy named Bill Waldridge. That's the alias he's using. He was living at 34 Water Street at the time here in Napanee. And every time after being shot, I would go out. He would show up constantly, always right there, 24/7. He was walking by my place sometimes 10, 12 hours a day, starting first thing in the morning till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, back and forth all the time. I would go out. He was right there. He was also stalking my mother too. And the reason was because he was told that he and I were switched at birth. He thinks that he is my dad. He believes that he is also, when he was stalking my mother, he was calling my mother mom, and he also thinks that he is Harry Potter. I know a lot of this sounds confusing, but it is all very much true. Gang stalking and everything else. He was stalking my mother. He was using remote neuromonitoring on my mother, and he caused her cancer, brain cancer, as a result because of her age and her health. And that's how they made it look her murder. It was done with intent. It caused cancer because of the high EMFs and radiation and her age. And then there was a Blair Hardy that came on the scene. He is from a place called The Mission. He used to drive a Mercedes. There is one Dale Hartwick. He is a gang stalker, slave trafficker, sex offender, speedhead. He is aiding O.p.p. He is rat informant, now aiding O.p.p. for drop charges involved in my full physical identity theft through the remote neuromonitoring. I've been falsely charged. I've been arrested. I am the one that's being blamed for everything that has taken place with me through a lot of lies through O.p.p. Spencer Mills 14716, whether it's in Napanee or not. Staff Sergeants, years 2019, 2021, kidnapping and sodomy, sex assault. Ex-Chief or Commander, year 2019, as I said, drove a white Jeep Wrangler. Shannon Cork, Dave Weiss, Robert Lucas, Robert Kane, 7224, Spencer Mills, 14716, Stacy, a mental health worker, was Napanee, now Daily Tea Company, the one that showed up at the hospital, the one that got me medically blacklisted. And Shelley Hoffner had me kidnapped May 27, 2021. I've been falsely charged for naming cops or for naming doctors who are involved, criminally involved, for treatment refusals, discrimination, medical blacklisting, criminal medical negligence, being called a liar, being told I'm hallucinating, delusional, being called crazy every time I would go to the hospital. Mental health workers were showing up to try to make this look like a mental disorder while proving everything and them not wanting to see anything. So we're being blamed for all of this. Lies, time buying, cover-ups, arrest refusals, false arrests, like I said. Involved in human trafficking, sex slavery trafficking, children and adults. Families are murdered and missing. It is probably the police who are involved with these crimes. I am the end of my bloodline, and because of the damage that's been done to me and me not being able to go get medical help, damages are done. I have absolutely no feeling in my head or my face. On the right side, it's being swelled out. My skull has been completely and totally deformed in many ways, shapes, and sizes. I'm losing my hair. I am being physically changed on a daily basis and showing it while not being able to do a damn thing about it. This is being done to me by a bunch, like I said, O.p.p. gang stalkers, drug addicts who are highly protected, highly unarrestable. Why? Because of the crimes that they are committing and who they're doing it for, with and for Ontario Provincial Police, the organized trafficking and sex slavery. They are the ones that are causing the homelessness to be above suspicion of their crimes because nobody thinks twice about the homeless. They're casting lies of long criminal records and history against their victims. They're casting lies of long psychological records and history against their victims, using their badges, positions, credentials to be above suspicion of the crimes that they are committing. And I am the end of my bloodline, so once again, anything more happens to me, the ones that are guilty of doing this in Napanee, Ontario, is one Dale Hartwick. O.p.p. are very well aware of who he is. One Axel Rose, Anthony Hearns, long red hair, lives on the corner of Bridge and East Street in a red brick building. Ray LeBlanc lives on Dundas and East Street behind Mamma Mia's Pizzeria. He's a child groomer. These are all sex offenders as well. Then there is one Tyler Lake. He frequents between John Street, the old funeral home, 34 Water Street, a place on Center, and Thomas side door entrance, which is a crack shack in Napanee. They are involved. There is also Jason Gimpy Two Step in Alstein, who is right now using what is called R&M on me. There is a Blair Hardy, and one Bill Waldridge uses the name Bill Waldridge, aliases Bill Coolidge, Stephen Mabin, Robert Cross, James Bubbles, and others. He is the one that was stalking my mother, and he was the one that was using R&M on her with Blair Hardy, and the one that caused her cancer and murdered her. As a matter of fact, in 2020. So I just gotta say congratulations after having my brain fried out of my fucking head, not being able to do anything about it, and the ones involved, even right now, the whole side of my head, one side is bigger than the other, and the whole back part of my head is completely swelled up. I have a spot on the back of my head, which has been there since I was shot. So public needs to be aware of this. I am the end of my bloodline. I am living right now currently in Tyonega, Mohawk territory for the time being. I'm staying. And right now, I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time doing this while I'm trying to explain everything because of being injured so much and being numbed down. Nobody is conveniently arrestable without $22,000 extortions that are involved in financial thefts and frauds, welfare and disability thefts and frauds, insurance policy frauds. And this is going on in Napanee under unsuspecting eyes and noses through the police, through doctors, through the justice of the peace, and mental health workers. Congratulations. In one way or another, I will get help. I will prove this even more, the internal damages that has been done to me, which I previously never had. And after 5 years of being medically blacklisted, even going to the hospital one time and being kicked out, going there, registering, going to sit down, and then all of a sudden having security come over and say, "You're not going to be seen today." I went up there for lung problems after that. My lung on my right side has never been the same. Conveniently, nobody is arrestable no matter how much I prove anything. I've been surrounded hands on guns by O.p.p to prevent anything legal on them. Everything done has been tried to stop me from anything legal on anyone. Trying to prove myself while being called a lot of things and a lot of labels by a lot of people who have to prove fuck all. So time is bought, damages are done, and I just got to say congratulations to Ontario Provincial Police, Spencer Mills 14716 once again, Robert Kane 7224, ex-chief or commander, year 2019, staff sergeant, years 2019-2021, Shannon Cork, Robert Lucas, Dave Weiss, Robert Kane 7224, Stacy the mental health worker, Shelley Hafner, doctors who are criminally and negligently involved and need to be arrested and charged for having me falsely arrested and charged to cover their asses, to buy time, and to prevent anything legal on them. One ex-CEO, Cubby Duck, patient relations, Brown, doctors, Hadley, Pritchard, Barton, McGregor, Triage Terry, Tanya David. I would go to the hospital. I was either not being seen or I was being treated like a piece of shit. And I would get up and walk out, and they were trying to make it look like it was me refusing treatment or from them. No, I was being treated like a piece of shit. I was being belittled and called names, and then I would get up and walk out, and it was making it look like me, plus all the treatment refusals. And them assuming that this is a mental fucking illness, a mental disorder. No, it's a crime, that they are criminally and negligently involved with these pieces of shit cops that I have named, who are very seriously dangerous, whether in Napanee or not, along with Banal, Steinhardt, Kearns, Lake, LeBlanc. I'm more than willing to have my dad exhumed to prove DNA because of what's been done to me. And I am not taking a fall for any low-life, crack-fed, crackhead pieces of shit, human traffickers, sex offending, sex slave trafficking, drug trafficking, drug lacing, low lives who work with them for O.p.p, doing this with them for them. This is a revenge retaliation crime on me, so beware. Nothing I can do, nothing. My medical rights, my legal rights, my human rights have been taken from me, so they could assure this. Love all, hate none. I hope this gets out, gets seen. Like, share, subscribe, because this is very serious. Lives are in danger, and the longer this goes on, the more changes and damage it's done to me, the more everybody's going to get away with it, and I am going to be screwed. And I am the end of my bloodline. So they are guilty of murdering my mother, injuring and torturing my dogs, and complete, full identity theft and changes on me. How O.p.p traffic frame and are murdering innocent people who speak their crimes for revenge. Beware.